Kush's Movie Review.
Yes, Kush's Movie Review. Welcome, everyone. If you are watching us in a standalone version on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, get the thumbs up, help the algorithm and all that bollocks. And let us know in the comments what you thought about this documentary, or what you thought about the review. This week's review is Netflix's Sly. I don't like the title of this because it's pretty much on the nose, doesn't leave much room for imagination, and I don't know how to make a joke about this. It's a documentary about Sylvester Stallone. Kush, how was it?
It's very enjoyable. But yeah, this is going to be a very cut and dry review. If we go 20 minutes, I'll be incredibly surprised. Like, this is very just straightforward. About 4 or 5 months ago, Netflix released a documentary series. It was 3 single-hour episodes about the life of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I almost said Sylvester Stallone. It was about Arnold Schwarzenegger, though. It's about his youth, about his rise in Hollywood, and then about his gubernatorial campaign. And yeah, that was a nice tight package there. It just, yeah, it is one. I remember watching the Arnold documentary, which I don't remember the name of it. Is it just something stupid like Arnold? It was probably just Arnold.
I think it's called Arnold.
But they go into about his rivalry with Sylvester Stallone, and they pick up a little bit of that in here as well. In fact, apparently the documentary did so well that Sylvester Stallone thought he should also have his own documentary, within the spirit of tradition and competition. And so Netflix made a documentary. It's 95 minutes long. It's I honestly thought it would be longer, and not because Stallone is an egomaniac, which he is, but the man's life is that complicated and it is that rich, and it does have history. And I do want to hear about things like "Stop or My Mom Will Shoot." They actually touched a little bit on that. I would have liked them.
That's a great story, by the way. I remember him talking about that on an interview. The reason why he took that role is a fantastic story.
Goes back to the competition. He thought Arnold was going to take it, and he didn't want Arnold to have it. Meanwhile, Arnold's just playing. He was like, "There's no fucking way I'm doing this stupid fucking movie." But just put it out there that I'm super interested. And Stallone went, "Oh no, fuck that!
I gotta take this before he does."
Yeah. Oops. Big oops. Big oops. Anyway, we get into this is obviously it's a documentary, so there's no real writer to it, but it is directed by a man named Tom Thom Zimney, and he mainly does concert features. Like, he does a lot of Bruce Springsteen. If you love Springsteen, this is your dude. So anyway, back to Stallone. He had a hard beginning, like most folks do that become super successful. He worked for everything he had. They grew up in Hell's Kitchen when it truly was a kitchen from hell. Yeah, and then something happened. Mom and dad split up. Little brother Frank went with mom. Sly went up north with dad. And what's crazy is dad is kind of a cunt. He's now dead, and if Stallone heard this, he'd probably be really, really mad at me. But this man just treated his son terribly. At some point, had Stallone not become a writer, a director, or an actor, he would have been a professional polo player.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
How did that? What? So he'd be on a horsey?
You're on a horsey, and you got a little mallet, and you hit a ball, and it's kind of like football, but on horses. I don't really know or understand it, but
I would love to see that. I would watch professional polo if someone like him was doing it, and then after the game, they would interview. So, Sylvester Stallone, how did you think the game went today? Oh, yeah, I think it was really good. I was riding the horse really well, and then I got the stick, and I put the ball, it went through the hole, and I was really happy when that happened. But I'd be riveted.
That was a really good impression. Well, you'll be happy to know, or you'll be disappointed to find out that after Stallone actually cemented his fame and actually had more than a couple bucks in his pocket, he tried to start a polo team, a professional polo team. Even invited dear old dad to be a part of it. And when they were playing an exhibition match, a little friendly for those of you in the Euros, dad cheap shotted him. I didn't know you could do this, but apparently, I don't know if he elbowed him in the back or hit him with the mallet, but hit Stallone in a place where it made him fall off his horse. and they finished out the event, and that was the last event Sylvester Stallone ever played as far as polo concerns. Sold the horses, sold the ranch, sold everything, and it's just kind of like, yeah, fuck you, Dad. I fucking hate you.
Dad, why you do that?
There was a press conference, and he called him out about it too. It's just like, can you believe this man would cheap shot his own son? And everybody had a laugh, and he was just like,
no,
it wasn't
seriously.
a joke.
Fuck that guy.
I fucking hurt. I hate this guy. So, yeah.
Was the team called the Stallone? Still.
No, whatever you're trying to say, the answer is no.
I'm trying to Stallone and Stallions. I'm trying to get like a audio Stallions. There we go. No,
don't worry
okay.
about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, no.
I'll go back to bed.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, go back to bed, Mikey. Go back to bed. So yeah, again, this is very straightforward. It's 95 minutes. Like, I would have thought this would have been longer because it mainly focuses on Rocky, Rambo, and then the Expendables for some reason. This is a man who's created 3 franchises for himself. So I get that part, but wouldn't be bragging about the Expendables too much. However, there's a scene in the first Expendables. I think we even touched on it maybe in that review we did for Expendables. Stallone did a scene with Stone Cold Steve Austin in part 1. And Steve was just being Steve, but Stallone was like, hit me harder. I don't really think I should, man. Like, I'm hitting you kind of hard already, and I'm still trying to protect you. Like, hit me harder. So Steve did, and sure enough, Stallone broke his neck and like 2 parts of his vertebrae. He's had 5 back surgeries since that movie, and has never been the same since. He's also in his goddamn 70s, so no shit, stupid. But yeah,
how the fuck did he break his neck and his back from a punch? Was it the fall he took?
He threw him into a wall. He threw him into a wall.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. So it's there's interesting stuff in here. Again, I guess it's the best case scenario. Always leave them wanting more. But at the end of 95 minutes, I was like, there's way more stuff we could have touched on here. But yeah, in the Arnold docuseries, we bring up Arnold's infidelity, how that took a cost on his marriage, how that affected his children's relationship, how that affected the woman he had the affair with, as well as the son that she carried. You know, and he, like, you see, he's being straight up with you. He's being 100%, and he's also slightly disappointed in his own behavior. He's like, why did I do that? I had this beautiful family, and I ruined it. But then I brought another child into the world here, and I've only made his life harder. Like, anyway, Stallone, I don't think there was any infidelity with him, but, like, you know, we never bring up Bridget Nielsen. We only refer to new wife as my wife.
My wife.
She don't have a name. He has 2 children, or two girls now. They don't have names. They do bring up Sage Stallone. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. That was Sylvester Stallone's, would have been his oldest son. He was in Rocky 5 as Rocky's son, and that probably did more harm than good, because like a decade later, he took his life ODing on some substance. I don't know if it was pills or coke or what his vice was, but they only mentioned that for a little bit. But, like, did you know Stallone got arrested one time I forget if he was going to Australia or New Zealand, but they caught him with a suitcase full of anabolic steroids, because guess what? He's doing the new Rambo movie, and he got to look cut and shaped.
Whole suitcase full of Jesus.
Maybe a little hyperbolic, of course, a little hyperbolic, but they did find an illegal substance on him, and he was in and out of jail within an hour. He paid a fine, and I think they deported him back to the United States. But that doesn't come up whatsoever. I was like, oh, I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear about that.
Maybe just let him go. Like, can you explain why you have these on you? Oh, well, you see, I was gonna do that, and I'll just get out. Just get out. Fucking hell! I just can't. Oh, you're catching it from me. See?
Oh no, digital virus.
I should have wore a mask. My bad.
Man. So anyway, The documentary is very good. It's very short. I would have liked to know more. I can't imagine them making a sequel and going, well, here's all this other stuff we didn't talk about. It's done. It's in the can. It's fine. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. But yeah, this is a very basic run of the mill review. There's not really much to go in on it. Everything we want to talk about, it's in the documentary. So it's on Netflix, free with your subscription, and there it is.
You know what would be good? Because I think obviously the main reason, because you could argue they're always going to be compared to each other, but you could argue that the Arnold one could have been longer because obviously they, the fact of his upbringing, his dad being a Nazi, they could have. I mean, I know he touches on that and he brings it up.
They talk about it,
and then obviously, his bodybuilding, his acting, his political career, and there's a whole lot to touch on. So you could argue that could be way much longer. But I think what would be really fun, not maybe necessarily a documentary, but what would be really good is like just a sit down thing where I don't know how long, maybe an hour or an hour and a half or whatever, but just Arnold versus Stallone, and they're just hanging out, talking about their careers and how they hate each other at one point. That could be really fascinating. That could be a lot of fun, I think.
That'd be cool. It would definitely need a moderator though. Like you can just
because they would just keep talking.
In a room. Yeah,
someone needs to shut that shit down.
Well,
there you go. So Sly on Netflix. Boom. 4 out of 5. Check it out. Anyway, let's do some things. Let's end the podcast. Jesus Christ. Never podcast while you're sick, kids. This has probably been a terrible episode. I do apologize on my behalf.
It's one of our shortest ones in a while. It's good.
It's because it hurts to talk. And also, we had to scrap an entire Family Feud segment that I was really looking forward to.
You're never going to let me down.
No. I'm just going to have to find a list to talk about next week because one of my favorite segments. Although we have got, it's coming up to the end of the year, which means January is coming, which means we get our annual Pornhub rankings. Oh yeah,
that'll be fun.
My favorite time of year, that is. If you're not familiar with that, go to, I have to double check. I think it's the first episode of 2023. It might be the second, but we just break down all the Pornhub statistics. It's fascinating. Fascinating.
That's fun.
Apparently, cartoon porn, if I remember correctly, was
that's our
very popular in America.
Our most popular episode currently.
Yes,
Americans love
some
porn.
Dirty bastards. Just go on YouTube to look for cartoon porn and then seeing our two faces and be like, I'm not wanking over this. Just go to.
Do you think anyone wanked the episode?
Maybe.
Like,
maybe it'd be nice. I'll take it as a compliment. But who goes to YouTube for porn?
Great. Yeah, right.
Like, there's so many other websites, better websites. Anyway,
I have to imagine, as good as the algorithm is, I bet there's some porn that even YouTube hasn't caught on to yet. Like I've done that.
Yeah, but for the effort that you'd have to find it.
But sometimes you just find it on accident. Is what I'm trying to get to here. Is like once upon a time I was just looking for something random, and then I found like a first run movie that was currently in theaters that specific week. And I was like, oh, this is the whole fucking thing. The whole thing is here. Like it's not altered, it's not edited, swears are in there. And then I didn't watch it, but I was like, well, what else is here? And like again, you hit the pause, and then that little row comes up, and I was like, oh shit, this movie is here, and this movie is here. It doesn't say like Need for Speed 2011. It's just all like consonants and letters and numbers. But yeah, the shit is there.
Porn.
I bet you there's porn on YouTube that we don't know about.
I thought your story was going to be how you found porn on YouTube and had yourself a night. Whoa!
Not yet. No.
Whoa!
I can
porn on YouTube.
Twitter for that still.
Lock the doors. It's gonna be a wild one. A wild one. that song by ZZ Top, as we found out last week. I never looked it up. I still don't know who actually sing that song, but there you go.
That's all, folks.